Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on behalf of news from our crazy corner of YouTube. A big hello to the first person in the chat. It's only YouTube who says it's all making sense now. OMG. Like I said, this is a special bulletin. Information was received first thing today, pointing me in the direction of Ghost Speakers Corner, a certain YouTube channel. Far right scum off our streets, stroke speakers corner, stroke open panel, which was streamed live on Thursday, the 19th of December, 2024. It was brought to my attention to check out approximately 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 42 seconds into that said live stream, where, as you know, a bleeding heart made a very damaging statement that AJ Lashbrook's father was a paedophile. Having had a cursory Google search, we can see the following newspaper article published on the Devon Live. At this time, we are not suggesting that the Andrew Lashbrook in this article is the father of AJ Lashbrook. We're not making that claim. We're just bringing this to the attention of the audience. Okehampton man who abused young girls given suspended sentence. Andrew Lashbrook pleaded guilty to 3 counts of sexual assault by touching, which took place 10 years apart. Reported by Carl Eve, crime reporter, at 16:27 on the 24th of August 2023. A 60-year-old man has been handed a suspended sentence after he admitted to grooming and sexually touching 2 young teenage girls on his day of his trial. Andrew Lashbrook of Crediton Road, Okehampton, I hope I pronounced that right, appeared at Plymouth Crown Court, where prosecutor Mary McCarthy outlined the offences. Neither girl can be identified due to legal reasons, and details of the offences cannot be fully reported so as to protect the identity of the 2 girls. Lashbrook was charged with intentionally touching one of the girls who was aged under 16 at the time, sometime between March 2011 and October 2012. He was further charged with intentional touching of the same girl on October the 10th, 2012. In addition, Lashbrook was charged with intentionally touching a second girl aged under 16 between June 2020 and July 2021. The early offences only came to light after the second victim came forward and police carried out inquiries. Miss McCarthy told the court how retired farm worker Lashbrook had groomed the first girl over a period of time, offering her money for work she did, before he then began to make comments about her underwear before touching her sexually. It was suggested that the money was effectively hush money. The second girl was similarly treated, although he targeted her about 10 years after committed the offences on the first girl. When the second girl told her mother, who in turn called police, inquiries revealed his previous victim's awful experiences. A victim impact statement from one of the victims was read out in court, who said the consequences of Lashbrook's offending behaviour had left a mark on every aspect of my life. She said the damage had been irreparable. She said his treatment of her had left her angry and uncomfortable. affected her personal relationships, and she said she felt her innocence had been taken from me. The victim said she suffered anxiety issues, had difficulty sleeping, struggling to trust others, specifically men, and she had suffered panic attacks. She said she was now seeking therapy to resolve the last impact it had on my mental health. In mitigation, Lashbrook's advocate noted that his client had been married for 30 years, had retired due to health difficulties, and was now a carer for his wife who suffered from epilepsy. Judge Peter Johnson said he noted that Lashbrook had no previous convictions and that he had pleaded guilty, although this happened on the first day of the trial. He said the 60-year-old's first victim made it clear she did not relish the attention he was paying her, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. He said the touching and comments were, it seems to me, all part of a grooming process. Judge Johnson highlighted the incident, which resulted in the second charge, describing how it came about and telling Lashbrook, who sat in the court, that it was for his victim the stuff of nightmares. She had fled into a bathroom and kicked the door, whereupon he pushed £30 under the door, no doubt in an effort to buy her silence. He said the third charge, which related to Lashbrook's second victim a decade later, noted that he had, on one occasion, came up behind her and tried to touch her breasts and bottom. He denied the allegations in an interview and called the girls liars right up until the day of the trial in July. Judge Johnson questioned Lashbrook's statement in his pre-sentence report, suggested he had seen limited remorse and had only accepted he had carried out the offences when it was explained to him by a probation officer the consequences of his continual denials. Judge Johnson also noted the huge disparity in age, noting that he was taking into account the sentencing guidelines regarding mitigation and aggravating factors, including the guidance on such cases where imprisonment would adversely affect others who rely on the offender. Judge Johnson said he would pass a total sentence of 22 months suspended for 2 years. Lashbrook would also have to carry out 30 rehabilitation activity requirements, RAR days, and would be made subject of a sexual harm prevention order until a further order is made. Lashbrook was also prohibited from contact with any females under the age of 18, either directly or indirectly. Judge Johnson warned that any breaches, such as failing to engage with a rehabilitation activity requirement appointments, he would be returned to court to appear before himself. Detective Constable Craig Ferguson, who led the investigation, said, I welcome the conviction of Andrew Lashbrook for these offences. They were committed by him against children. Lashbrook sought to groom these children by presenting himself someone who could be trusted. In reality, this man found these children sexually attractive and he wanted to grope and assault them. After he had carried out these offences, he then sought to buy their silence with offers of money. Lashbrook only pleaded guilty to these offences at the 11th hour, after both of his victims had been put through the trauma of a police investigation, and after they had been prepared to give their evidence live to the court. I wish to pay tribute to both young women in this case who have shown tremendous bravery and strength in coming to the police, initially to report the matters and then in providing their evidence in coming to court to prepare for the trial. I would like to add that we have no confirmation that the said Andrew Lashbrook in the Devon Live report article I've just read is the relation of AJ Lashbrook. I'd just like to point out that it was brought to my attention that approximately 2 hours, 25 minutes, 42 seconds into the far-right Scum off Our Street Speaker Corner open panel, hosted on the Ghost Speakers Corner, it was mentioned by Bulletin that AJ's father was a paedophile. A preliminary search brings up the Devon Live news report. I'd like to do a big hello to the contributors in the chat at the moment. This is a very serious subject, and that's evident by Mandy Marlin's comment, heavy, of which it's only YouTube has written Lashbrook, Beast of Plymouth. Again, I'd just like to point out that the Andrew Lashbrook farm worker reported in the Devon Live article written by Carl Eve, crime reporter, and published on the 24th of August 2023, has yet been confirmed as the father of AJ Lashbrook. This is all conjecture. We would have to hear more from Bleeding Heart as to where she got her information from. And of course, we'll have to hear from AJ Lashbrook himself to either confirm or deny this very damaging news, this new information coming to light that AJ Lashbrook's father is a paedophile. And I do feel as if I've mispronounced the location, OKE, rather than Okehampton. I don't know how to pronounce it any other way than Okehampton, either way, it's in Devon. One thing that did jump out of that article is how the victims of Andrew Lashbrook described how he simply didn't take no for an answer. And that really rang bells with me and resonated as to the behaviour of AJ Lashbrook, because I'm sure I've said the same thing myself on many occasions, as has other people. He simply does not take no for an answer. Evidently, it runs in the family. Over to It's Only YouTube, who says in the chat, Adam of the family Lashbrook has suddenly gone very quiet. But of course, we need AJ Lashbrook to make a public statement as to this release of very damaging information made by Bleeding Heart yesterday, Thursday, 19th of December, 2024. Approximately 2 hours, 25 minutes, 42 seconds into a live stream titled Far Right Scum Off Our Streets, Speakers Corner Open Panel on the Ghost Speakers Corner YouTube channel. In case you haven't heard the exchange, I will play it for you now.
You've actually said
Then don't say it on the fucking internet.
What I would prefer to know is what you think of AJ's father being a
I don't know anything about AJ's father, and why would you?
Well, he is a paedophile. He's an actual paedophile. So what do you think?
No, your cousin's the paedophile.
Could you repeat that?
And so's your dad, Con. And probably your brother as well.
Did you just say
of AJ's father being a paedophile?
What? Why would I be?
All right, well done. AJ managed to keep that quiet then, didn't he? You didn't read the newspapers.
Probably
is
not.
This woman look like trying to be the master of distraction because it ain't working.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
It ain't working.
What did you say about white children?
The last thing I heard you say to AJ was, I love your videos. You make really good
You
videos.
beggy little tramp.
That's the last words I heard you say to AJ.
As you can appreciate, this is very pertinent news and should rightly be brought to the attention of the audience, only because of the incessant and constant false allegation AJ Lashbrook himself makes about other people being paedophiles. And I can attest to this myself because I've been at the receiving end of being falsely claimed to be a paedophile by AJ himself. And it's for this very reason that this news is rightly covered, because it just shows the hypocrisy and the perversion at the very heart of this dangerous gang of YouTube trolls, the usual suspects that we have come to fear and dread. So thank you ever so much for watching this special bulletin. We will be wrapping it up. I'd just like to thank you for your attention and thank the contributors. It's only YouTube, my friend Justin. And it's good to see Mandy Marlins back. We've missed you, Mandy. I'm sorry that this news bulletin was so somber, but this is vital information that is worthy of being reported on. And it's very important that this information is disseminated amongst our audience. And of course, the emphasis now is on Bleeding Heart to explain to the audience where she received this information. And of course, absolutely imperative that AJ Lashbrook comes forward and explains the situation. I myself has some pertinent questions I'd like to ask of AJ Lashbrook. Number one, we need to determine whether this said Andrew Lashbrook is indeed his father. Number two, we have to determine whether any pictures of Kaylee's children were sent to the father. And I've got some questions of my own, which, while I won't make public today, I will like to ask AJ myself publicly if ever he shows himself again. Until that time, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for joining me. We will wrap off this special news bulletin by again listening to the exchange which took place at approximately 2 hours, 25 minutes, 42 seconds into Ghost Speaker's Corner live stream on Thursday, the 19th of December, 2024. Far right scum off our streets. Speaker's Corner. Open panel.
But you've actually said
what
Then
I
don't
would
say
do-
it on the fucking internet.
What I would prefer
gave
to know
us
is what you
asylum.
think of AJ's father being a
I don't know anything about
paedophile.
AJ's father, and why would you?
But he is a paedophile. He's an actual
So-
paedophile. So what do you think
No,
about
your
that?
cousin's the paedophile.
Could you repeat
for
that?
messing
And
your
so is your
daughter.
dad, can't.
Look,
And probably your brother as
you-
well.
Did
you're
you
not
just
aware
say?
of AJ's father being a paedophile?
Why would
Just
I
put on
be?
its side, man.
All right, well done. AJ managed to keep that quiet then, didn't he? You didn't read the newspapers.
Probably
Is
not.
this woman
No.
like trying to be the master of distraction? Because it ain't
Oh,
working.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
It ain't
I
working.
think you guys
We
would be
want
better
to
What did you
know.
say about white
I feel
chicks again? What did you say about
I
white
feel
chicks?
Travis.
Ask AJ
We
about his
want
The
to
dad.
last thing I heard you say to AJ was, "I love your
What?
videos. You make really good
You
videos."
beggy little tramp.
That's the last
Your
words I
mother
heard
is
you
little
say to
tramp.
AJ.
If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. I will be doing a follow-on news bulletin once further information is made available. Andrew Lashbrook, hiding in plain sight. With this in mind, we'll just have to stress that there is no confirmation as of yet that the said Andrew Lashbrook reported in the Devon Live news article, man who abused young girls given suspended sentence, reported by the crime reporter Carl Eve on the 24th of August 2023, is in any way related to the YouTube troll we all know as AJ Lashbrook. But as I've said, please subscribe to this channel, because there will be further bulletins once further information is brought to light. Until that time, I would just like to thank everyone for their attention and be ever vigilant for those people who shout the loudest that they are the best, who shout the loudest that they are the most righteous, who shout the loudest that they are the most moral. Because it is those people who are more often than not the most degraded, the most perverted, and the most degenerate. And that definitely fits the modus operandi of the YouTube troll we all know as AJ Lashbrook. Thank you ever so much for everyone for getting involved, and please, for the sake of public awareness, share this video, discuss it. Until the next time, beware of those people who make out they're the good, because as we know, they are the worst. Until the next time, ask AJ about his dad.